All right, guys, let's talk about a few things going into 2024. So, one of the things I want to talk about, I've seen a lot of people talk about this going into 2024. And then also, the other topic I'm going to be talking about is something that I saw on my Cleaners Connect page. So, the first thing is for those who are looking to start a business going into 2024. All right, guys, I'm always about the positive side, the possible side. Now, at the end of the day, no matter what we do in life, we still have to understand there's things called realistic expectations, okay? One of the realistic expectations of going into business is that business failure is very, very high, okay? If I'm not mistaken, over 90% of businesses do not succeed within the first 5 years. Okay, that's the statistics. I didn't make it up, right? But the other 10% is possible, and I'm proof. Now, the thing I want to talk about, I'm a believer that there's no right or wrong. Okay, you just have to make the wisest and the best choices for yourself. A lot of things that I speak about is basically spoken from my own past experience, right? So let's talk about when you start a business. Should you use your cash, your own money, or should you borrow money, loans, credit cards, things like that? Now, when I first started my business, my daughter is what, 17, almost 19 years ago. Okay. My wife, we wasn't married at the time. Her biological father passed away, and she came into some cash, some money, and we took 5,000 of that, and that's how we started our carpet cleaning business. Basically, took about 2,500, bought a portable, took another couple grand, got a truck, and then the other 500 we used for road signs, bandit signs, and that's how I marketed my business for almost 8 years, man. So after that, guys, business failed. Okay, didn't go out of business, thank God, but business failed horribly for the first 5 years, and I had to go through what I call a revamp stage, and that's what I teach people how to revamp their businesses, especially small business owners who kind of went through the same thing that I went through. So I had to revamp my business. So when it comes to the cash versus borrowing, I am depends on, first of all, it depends on what are you trying to achieve in your business. What is your long term goals? Um, are you starting out more on a larger scale? Are you starting out on a bigger scale? Okay, or even a medium scale, right? Most businesses start out at a very, especially I would say in my industry, a very low end business scale where they can come in this industry with, again, three, four, $5,000 and basically start cleaning upholstery and carpet tomorrow, right? But what they're going to lack is, if I can go back and redo it, I would have maybe saved some more funds. I definitely would have utilized credit, and I don't think my credit was that good at the time, but I would have definitely worked on my credit and started trying to acquire borrowing money, okay, loans, credit cards, and also building my business credit, which is so important in business, right? Because the reason why, guys, like I said, there's no right or wrong way. You just got to make the best decisions for you. Now, let's say if you take your own cash and your own money and you go start a business and that business fails. Well, guess what, guys? You just took a gamble and you just lost your money. Sometimes in this industry that I am, a lot of guys, let's say you buy equipment for 5,000, you might turn around and sell that equipment and only get about maybe 35 to maybe 75% of what you invested into that equipment or that vehicle. Okay. Most people in my industry do not sell their whole business as a whole because it's really not looked at as a business. It's really just looked at as an owner operator who just goes out there and performs a service. So that owner operator is only left with assets of equipment and basically a vehicle. That's about it. Now, like I said, if I can go back, I would have first. Another thing I would have did is definitely found a financial advisor or some type of business coach. Now, coaches come in all forms. I am not a business coach. I'm considered more of a mindset coach. I help people change their mindsets so they can do better, not only in their business but also in their life. All right, but I definitely would have acquired a business coach, somebody who would have put me on the right track, been there, done that, and would have not cost me a lot of costly mistakes, okay, and possibly going out of business, right? So that takes money, okay? That takes resources when you're talking about top of the line equipment, education, guidance, mentorship, coaching, things like that. That's when you might have to borrow, okay, money. And I've seen a lot of people successfully borrow money and take that borrowed money and, you know, profit off of it, and vice versa. I've seen people borrow money and take a loss. So again, guys, there's really no right or wrong way. Either way you look at it, it's a gamble. Now, let's say if you borrow 50,000, okay, and let's say you got 20,000 in your bank account and business fails. Well, guess what? You might take a penalty and repercussions on your credit and things like that, but you still have your cash. Where some people will use all their cash, and again, if business fails, they're they have no cash, to survive on, right? So that's the again, it's a give and take. Now, the one thing about once you lose your cash is gone. If you ruin your credit, you can always rebuild your credit. That's the beauty of credit. You can always rebuild it because remember, it's a man-made system. Okay, anything that's man-made, it can be rebuilt. Right? It's not gold. It's not diamonds. Where it's a natural source. Credit, money, all this stuff is man-made. So that's why I don't personally get emotionally tied up in those things as much as most people do, because if I lose it today, I can have it back tomorrow. If my credit goes bad today, I can rebuild it and it can be back good in the next year or two, right? So that's the thing to remember, guys. Going into business, it's all about making the best decisions with what you have. But either way you go, you are taking a risk, and especially as a new business owner, because remember, most businesses fail within the first 5 years. All right. So that's number one topic. Number two topic. I saw something in Cleaners Connect earlier, and I've been hearing this for as long as I can remember. It's not what you make, but it's what you save. This is what it is. This is a quote that I've heard, and I think it is so misleading. Okay, it is so misleading. It's not what you make, it's what you save. And let me tell you guys why I think that is total BS. If the average person in this country, the average person, again, this is statistics, this is not stuff I'm making up, live on a income where they can better save money. Now, years ago, I read an article that says the average American has less than $2,000 in their bank account. Okay, guys, that is really something scary, okay, to consider, that most people have less than $2,000 in their bank account. And the worst thing is to be a business owner in that category, because I've seen people who are a transmission, an engine away from being out of business. If your income is only enough for you to pay your bills, put a roof over your head, which is your bills, put food on the table, okay? Most people make enough just for that. How can you save money? What I have realized, it's not that people don't have a saving, it's not that people have a saving issue. Most people in that category have a not making enough money issue, which means if you're not making enough money, you have to find ways or a way to supplement your income and make more money. All right. If you're not making money, how can you save money? Okay, if all your money is going to your bills and your kids and just away, just basically what I call survivor mode, how can you save money? And on the flip side, you can be producing so much income that you can't help but save the money because you can't spend it as fast as you make it. And that's a good position to be in. So when people say it's not what you make, it's what you save, God, that is so misleading. I'm here to say that it's not true. Statistics, people who go out here every single day to make ends meet, to keep a roof over their head, to take care of their families, how can they save? I never understood where that came from. Now, let's say if you are a person who's making a lot of money, but you're spending it just as fast as you make it, which is, trust me, I have been there. That's just called poor management. You just have poor money management skills, all right? And that's something that you can correct, all right? And when you make a lot of money, depending on your lifestyle and the bracket you're in, because for example, a person, let's say, who makes 200,000 a year, that's definitely a lot of money to somebody who only might make 50,000 a year. And the 200,000 person, that might not be nothing to someone who might make $1 million a year. See what I'm saying? So it just depends on how much an individual is making, gross wise. This is why certain people live in country clubs, okay? And their mortgage is $7,000 a month, and their car note is $4,000 a month because they might be making the type of money that can support their lifestyle. This is why some people live in, middle class homes, okay, where their mortgage might be like mine's, $1,800 a month, okay? And then you might have someone who might have to live in a lower income because they only can afford maybe $800-900 a month. So it really just depends on one's, income level of what they can acquire and what they can do in their life. And like I said, the person who might be making a lot of money can be making so much money. Like, guys, you literally can be making so much money that saving is not even a thought process. It's not even something you have to think. It's not even something you have to do because you're making so much money. It just keeps flowing in. Okay. But again, if you're not making money to save, you have a problem. And that problem is called not making enough money. A problem. That's your problem. And you have to figure out a way to solve that problem by making more money. And what can you do, guys? You can get another part-time job, okay? Some type of way. If you don't have the funds, maybe you can borrow. If you have good credit, that's a leverage. Good credit is a leverage. You can borrow money, maybe start a side hustle or side business. There's so many things you can do. Maybe let's say if you work from typical 9 to 5, and you got kids. Now you got to come home and spend time with your kids and your family. Or maybe you might have to get a little part-time job working at night, maybe from 10 to 2. I mean, these are some of the things that we might just have to do as human beings. And these are sometimes the things that we must do to get out of a situation that we no longer want to be in, okay? Sometimes we get too comfortable, We will sit back, struggle, and complain about our struggles. And that's something I have learned to stop doing. Why am I complaining about my struggles when my complaining is not fixing my issues? Let me flip the way I'm thinking. Let me figure out a way to solve my problem, okay? Not complain about my problem, because the more I complain about it, the more it's going to hold me down, okay? The more I'm going to start thinking like, oh, well, it's just, you hear people say it is what it is, but it doesn't have to be, okay? Because if there's a will, there's a way, all right? And sometimes we might have to get out of our comfort zone and do things that we might not feel comfortable doing. But I'm telling you guys, sometimes doing the uncomfortable will eventually make you comfortable. All right, let me say that again, because I just made that up. Sometimes doing the uncomfortable will put you in a position where you can be comfortable. And I'm here to tell you guys, it's a great feeling. So I just want to just put that out there today. So hopefully this message can help somebody. If you are looking to start a business in 2024, Just make the wisest decisions, okay? And do the best with what you have, all right? And if you are financially struggling and you're not able to save money, remember, there is a way out. All right, guys. See you in the next one.